Doom ba doom ba doom ba doom ba doom. All right, ready to go. And
Sir.
three, two, one.
Egon, your mucus.
This happened to you before? Oh, first time?
It's here.
A full torso apparition, and it's real.
So what do we do? Could you come over here and talk to me for a second, please? Could you just come over here for a second, please? Right over here.
Come here, Francine. Come here. What do we do? I don't know. What do you think? Stop it! We've got to make contact. One of us should actually try to speak to it.
Good idea. Hello. I'm Peter. Where are you from? Originally. All right. Okay. The usual stuff isn't working.
Okay. I have a plan. I know exactly what to do. Now stay close. Stay close. I know. Do exactly as I say. You ready? Ready? Get her!
That scene, I think, perfectly shows the both sides of this movie, the scary and the unbelievably hilarious.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, boy, that's a really all-encompassing scene for this film.
Yeah.
Like, it really does show that, like, even the way they're playing, like, because I'm not like, you play these clips like before we come back on for the second hour, and I'm not watching this. Like, neither of us is watching this. Like,
Yeah.
we're hearing the audio,
Mhm.
and like, just sitting here, like, it's always fun to do that because you get to almost watch it and a little bit of, and like, the movie,
Uh,
you should be
Hold on,
creeped
hold on.
out.
Stop. Say that again.
Oh, sorry, I leaned on the damn wire again. I
Uh,
was saying, like, you watch that scene, and like, you just listening to that music, just hearing it, and the movie's telling you, like, you should be creeped out.
yeah,
Like,
the
this is
music and
creepy.
the camera angles,
Yeah,
like
like, there's a fucking ghost. You should be weirded out by this.
yeah,
And they are just so like, okay, we caught a ghost. Like, now what do we do? Like, they've known forever ghosts are a thing. They're fucking real. Like, in this universe, they're a fucking thing. And like, all they have to do is prove it and catch it. Well, they've proved it. And like, okay, how do we catch it? Like, I don't know. I didn't think we'd get this far. It's such a funny fucking moment to watch. Like, even when he's like, what do we do? And Egon starts like calculating shit and stop
stop
that.
that.
Like, what are you doing, you idiot?
Yeah.
Like, what in the science books taught you about this? Like, come on, man. Like, it's
and
such
and like
a fucking great moment.
and like everybody like and they look at it, or they're acting like this is any other problem to be, solved, right? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
they're treating it like exterminators that just came upon a tiger.
yeah, exactly.
Like, what do we do now? Like, do we shoot it with the trank guard? Like, that's trank that's good for a fucking possum. We might
Yeah,
just piss the tiger off. Like, I don't know if I want to be the one to pull that trigger, Jerry. Like,
exactly. and
It's
and
just
that's
it's so funny the way they treat it.
and when I brought it up earlier, like I really meant it. Like none of the other Ghostbusters movie, including the '89 sequel,
Mhm.
had this tone or had this feeling to it.
Right.
To where it was these regular blue collar guys who are dealing with this in a blue collar capitalist kind of way,
Yeah.
for lack of
Like
a better term.
it's a problem, we'll solve it. Check out the
Yeah.
hook while the DJ rips off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost 40. Fuck you.
Yeah. I used to know all the words of that song, Bite Me. So
I know far more words to that song than I care to admit.
so anyway, man, as we teased before the break, I wanted to get to one of the most controversial parts of this movie, which is the character of the wonderful, uh, mostly underrated and like
Vastly
vastly
underrated.
underrated um, character of Walter Peck, played by the always gracious and 99%, 100% friendly William Atherton. Okay.
Yeah.
Who, let's face it, got done dirty by this movie.
Oh God, dude, he has to play a dick the rest of his life. Well, you're never gonna see him as the charming dad in anything. He's gonna be the
No.
dickhead neighbor. Like,
Dude, he's the bad guy in everything that he's ever done, right? Even in the movie, didn't he come out in Biodome
even
where he
in
played like
Biodome, he's the
one of the
bad guy.
scientists?
He has to be the bad guy in a world where Pauly Shore and Who Gives a Fuck Baldwin are the good guys.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck kind of universe am I living in? You know that he didn't realize how bad it was until he was walking down the street in New York and some kids all opened the windows, apparently on this route before, and all shouted,
and they
and
and
he
they
was
and they
like,
shouted
oh
what?
shit.
And they
They
shouted
shout
what?
they shouted dickless at him.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a fucking forever thing. Like the
And that poor
poor
guy,
guy,
man.
dude. Like,
And from everything that I've heard, he's nothing but a courteous, genuine, like a genuinely nice person
yeah, no
who,
shit.
like, who will say hi to you. He will sign your autograph. Like he's a generally nice guy. But like, for a while there, it was like, he everybody just knew him as Dickless or Peck.
Heck,
But
dude.
let's get into it. Why this thing's so controversial, and it's become even more controversial as the years go by, and we as a society. Well, I say we as a society, but I'd like to think the more enlightened of us become more environmentally conscientious, right? To where,
Will. Will.
uh,
You and I would defend this guy like you know who he would be in this world right now? You know who
uh,
Walter Peck would be? Dr.
uh,
Fauci.
I think Dr. Fauci is better at articulating his points.
No. But I'm saying he'd
He's
be
less of
half
a
hated.
dickhead.
No. What I'm saying is half the world would hate him.
Oh
Half the
yeah,
world would still hate him. You and I would be fucking like, that guy's a doctor, man. Like,
yeah,
even now, if you really watch it, he's with the goddamn EPA. He's with the Environmental Protection Agency.
yeah.
Like, you, and what's so funny about him, if you really think about it, they're making fun of Ralph Nader. Like,
Are they now?
that's who Walter Peck is supposed to be. Ralph Nader, who only gave us seatbelts and airbags. Thanks, Ralph, for not letting us die in 15-mile-an-hour car crashes.
You know what
Like,
happened with Ralph Nader? You know why I have such a bad taste in my mouth in regards to Ralph Nader is because I remember a time when he ran for president, right? And it's because of him that we got George Bush the second. You know, like let's be real. Let's be real, right?
thanks to Ralph Nader, we were brought such gems as strategery So yeah,
Lockbox.
hashtag never forget. Anyway,
Yeah. Hashtag
yes,
mission accomplished.
hashtag mission accomplished. Sure thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
You're about 10 years and $500 trillion too late, dude.
that was taxpayer money.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's okay. Anyway, dude. So
man,
yeah,
that
man.
was all. That
So
was all. That was all food stamp recipient.
you're right.
Oh,
Shoot.
moving on. Moving on.
Yeah. You
I
think
don't want to
Ralph
get off on a
Nader
rant here.
you think Ralph Nader paid any of those taxes? Hell no.
No, no, we didn't.
so
But
so
like,
anyway, but anyway,
like,
yeah, dude. So let me ask you this, man. If there were a situation where this group of people like these quote unquote scientists had this thing and we had no idea what it was, we had no idea what it did, we had no idea what kind of energy consumption or like how did they even get the permits to build this thing
yeah,
in
no
the middle of
shit.
New York City, you know?
And I think, and here's the thing, like, because here's the thing that they really do kind of explain in the movie, but they don't. They kind of explain it away. They use it as exposition, but it is there.
Uh,
And it's like, why do you want to know all this stuff? Well, because I'm curious. Because no
yeah,
one's ever regulated this stuff before. It
yeah,
is the job and the responsibility of the Environmental Protection Agency to make sure that everything is up to code in this building and
hmm,
nothing that you do can hurt anybody around you. Like you're walking around carrying confessed, unlicensed nuclear accelerators.
yep,
Like you want the EPA to step in and go, hold on a second, dude.
yeah, and 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 you know what this brings to the like this brings to my attention at least, like, and I didn't even notice this until later on as an adult when I was watching this movie, and as I said, I became more environmentally conscious, is the
Yeah.
fact that yeah, they don't have permits, they would not be able to get permits for this thing. This thing
Yeah.
is illegal.
They just opened a business in the middle of New York City.
Yeah, this thing
Like
is
it's highly
illegal.
illegal.
Yeah. So yeah, Walter Peck was right. He
He
was a
really
dick
was.
about it. He was a dick
Yeah.
about it.
But that's why he's supposed to be a nader raider. He's supposed to be one
Yeah.
of those guys that's like fucking airbags are important, you idiot. Like we're
Yeah, they're
trying to save goddamn lives here.
like this is the kind of shit that people were pissed off about, like when they introduced the new kind of light bulb and people were like, "No, man, you can't take away my old light bulbs." But
Yeah.
at the same time it's like, dude, like there's an environment that we need to look after, and with everything going on right now, especially in the 80s when
Yes.
environmental legislation was really starting to come up and people were like, hey, why are they dumping nuclear waste in our drinking water? you
Yeah.
know
Save the whales. Fuck them. Save
yeah,
us. Like, you needed to be a dickhead to be part of this sort of thing. Like, you had to be a
yeah,
dickhead. And, like,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Like, I want my EPA, I want them to be Walter Pecks. Like,
yeah,
I don't want them to be spineless jellyfish, dude. Like, I want them to be fucking assholes that come with the
yeah,
cops and just shut this off. Shut all this shit off. Like, I
yeah.
want that guy.
He went
Like,
about it the wrong way.
no, he
Come on,
absolutely went about it the
he went
wrong way
about it the wrong way. But
when they
like,
told him shutting these off could be cataclysmic. It's a bad idea. Maybe fucking
yeah,
don't
maybe
shut it
work with them
off.
a little bit. Like,
Like,
look,
oh, like,
yeah, we
fine,
built this. Okay, you caught us. Okay,
like,
let's talk this out.
like, don't turn that thing off. Like, it's setting
Yeah,
off a bomb.
like I will sue your ass for wrongful prosecution. We cannot be held responsible for what happens.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that's
shit.
basically
And
them
it's not.
admitting, like, yeah, like we're like this is a big danger to the environment.
Yeah,
And
and like
sure
you see,
enough, as soon as he shuts it off,
that's the thing. I do always wonder, like, but does he have a case here? Because fucking like Vakeman said, like, yeah, we did it, but we didn't know how bad it could get. Like, we really didn't know how bad it could get.
yeah,
Like, nobody's ever done this before.
and that's on
Like, who,
them
like,
too, dude. Like that's all on them, dude.
yeah, like, who was the first person to fucking scramble an egg, bro? Like, sometimes you gotta break one to fucking scramble it.
Yeah,
Like, sorry, we picked New York City. Bad choice. Should have went with Lexington, Kentucky, or some shit. Nah, that's a pretty. That's I say that, but that's a pretty big city.
Yeah,
Maybe bumfuck Kentucky. I don't know.
bumfuck Kentucky, or how about like Senate, Missouri? There's
Or
nothing
like,
there.
or fucking New Hampshire. I'm pretty sure that state's not real.
Or Australia.
I had I
Yeah.
had an I had an ex one time. I had mentioned that I'd been in this town called Casper, Wyoming, and she's like, Wyoming's not a real state. I'm like, what? She's like, that's a made up state. Like nobody you know has ever been to Wyoming. I'm
Okay,
like,
so
I've been to
I
Wyoming.
I have two questions, man, about that. One, like, what made her think that Wyoming wasn't a real state? And two, what the fuck are you talking to somebody so stupid?
I don't, man. You have no idea. It was so weird to be in a relationship for 2 years and then find out all this weird shit about them as a person. Like, I just assumed we agreed on simple things, like the moon landing.
Oh
Like,
no.
she's sure we faked that. She's like, no, I'm sure we've been to the moon since then, but we faked the landing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, some shit. Like, there's just some things that I'm not gonna fight with people about. Like the moon landing's one of them. Whether the Earth is flat, it's not. Uh,
it it's so funny when when I'm watching videos of flat earthers and science deniers and stuff, and they're like, "There's no proof that the world is round." And I'm just thinking to myself,
Sure
like,
there's
yeah, dude, like there's things called, time zones and eclipses and, stuff like that. But and
tall buildings.
seasons, seasons for fuck's sake. But
Like, have you, like, bro? What's the tallest building you've ever been on? Have you ever seen a sunset from a fucking like? I think it's at least the 13th, 14th floor. Like, you can see curvature, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Like, god damn it! Forget it.
anyway,
That's a whole
so
other podcast episode
yeah.
where
So
I'm just
anyway,
gonna
man,
scream the entire time.
I can just like picture it like we bring that up as a topic, and then the very first thing we do is, and the entire episode is done in one breath. All right,
One angry breath,
one
like
angry breath.
my head
So
would explode, dude. Like,
so Walter Peck, man, both the cause of and solution to all of Ghostbusters problems.
your mother.
That is such a great line.
Yes,
Where he's
it
like,
is.
everything was going fine until Dickless here shut it off. Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
I fucking, well, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Fucking asshole. It's so fucking funny, man. What if you're wrong? Well, we're wrong. Nothing happens. We go to jail peacefully, quietly. We'll enjoy it. But if I'm right, you will have
Plenty.
saved lives of
Millions.
of registered voters.
And that is the line that's like, okay, what do you need? What do you need
Boy,
from me?
Boy, talk about a line that got funnier as I got older. Like,
Yeah.
shit. Like, yeah, that's how you get them to start saving us.
Dude, and that's even funnier. Like after watching something like Don't Look Up. Oh man.
I hear a lot of reporters are like, eat a dick about that movie. But
No, because it totally exposes them for what they are. Like they're
a lot of them are fucking goons. A lot of them are. There's some real reporters out there, and I think that's the problem, is that they're lost in a sea of fucking BuzzFeed articles.
yeah.
But like, I'm just as guilty as anybody else of fucking getting sucked down the BuzzFeed like hole. Like, what a bunch of interesting shit that doesn't matter. Like.
Yeah, I mean, there are some real talented writers that BuzzFeed. It just so happens that like the really shitty ones are the ones that get all the attention.
Yeah, but I mean, the other problem is that everybody thinks they're fucking gonzo now. Like, everybody wants to be fucking Hunter S. Thompson. It's like, shut up, dude. He did all the drugs already. Like, just shut up. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you one thing, man. There can never, ever, ever be another Hunter S. Thompson in the world.
No, not in this world.
Not in this world. No.
No, that would just be what we call a junkie. Like, I don't give a fuck how interesting of a writer he is. He's a drug addict.
So they the final piece of this movie is I think is where I don't want to say that the movie falls apart. It's just where
It rushes.
uh it what
It rushes.
it does rush,
Mhm.
and I think it doesn't really know how to end, but
Boy,
we get
it really does feel like they started filming this before they had an ending in mind.
yeah, because they
Cause,
kept rewriting it as they went along, right?
Cause that ending is fucking wacky. Like it
It's
works.
weird, isn't it? Yeah.
It still works to this day, but like we really tried to cram in like two villains at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and the like the first 75% of this movie is just so brilliantly done and so like perfectly done, and they had to end the movie. They had to have this big giant scene and everything. And it just so happened they didn't have any money for it.
Yeah.
So we get this climactic battle where ironically like really like hilariously for some reason all random Ron Jeremy shows up as an extra
Yeah.
in New York, like he's just there like pointing up in the sky and stuff. I don't know, I just wanted to mention that. The He's in jail now, rightfully so. But yeah, man, like they Dana and Lewis, and I didn't get this as a kid, right? And they
Oh, that
really
they hook
hammer
up.
they really hammer this home in Afterlife, which I think is so
Yes, they do.
hilarious.
Yes, they do. Like, in case you didn't figure it out when you were kids,
The
yeah.
keymaster and the gatekeeper.
Like, yeah, the key went into the lock, folks. Like,
Yeah, it's like one of those stock footage scenes that they
oh,
show when two people
it's a
are
double entendre. I get
yeah,
it.
double entendre.
Double entendre.
Oh my goodness, dude. And dude, Rick Moranis has the funniest line delivery and facial expressions in these
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah, dude, he really does.
Like
Okay.
he's like goes to the traveler. He'll come in one of the pre-chosen forms. During the retrification of the Voldrini, the traveler came as a large moving torg. Then, during the third reconciliation of the last of the major reconciliations, they chose a new form for him, that of a giant slore. Many Shuvs and Zuls knew what it was to be roasted in the depths of the slore that day, I could tell you.
You do that really well.
I'm reading this, brother. I'm reading this off the screen. He said it like as an ad lib, bro.
Just
Like
fired it off,
like
dude.
he just
Like,
fired it off and like without missing a beat, dude. You know,
and how do you not laugh at that?
right?
Like, like, like,
And it,
dude, he just stood there and no sold him on that. Like,
yeah,
uh-huh.
and he's so good at that. He's so good at that. Like just straight up, like not
Not
like listening
reacting
to
to you.
it, but not reacting it. Like this dry sense of humor that he has in this movie.
He
And then we
really,
have and
no,
what?
same from what I understand, he made like a very real conscientious effort to not like make any kind of real facial expressions as Egon, like especially to not smile. Like
Yeah,
like
and it
he tried really hard to play it like he was
straight.
humorless. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating.
And I think the line that most or that best describes his character is when Janine asks him like, "Do you have any interests or any hobbies?" And he goes, "I collect spores, molds, and
Or
fungus."
fungus.
And what's brilliant is that, and this is the great thing about Afterlife is that there's a scene where they're going through the basement, and he
Mhm.
has jars of spores,
Of
molds, and
spores, molds, and
fungus.
fungus. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I caught a lot of. I haven't read up all the Easter eggs in it
Uh,
because, from what I understand, there's like literally hundreds.
like every scene, there's one.
Yeah, like there's like an Easter egg in like every scene.
Mhm.
But like, man, the ones that I caught were like were so good. Like the Twinkie, the Crunch Bar, like that was so fucking funny.
Yeah. So they with Lewis being possessed, and then like he's got this goofy demeanor about him, like saying stuff like that. And then you have Dana, who like in all honesty, like I've never really found Sigourney Weaver attractive unless I'm watching this scene.
Unless she's possessed.
And she's like, "Are you the key master?" I'm like, dude.
There's something.
Yes, I am. I'm totally the key master. What can I do
I'm
you
afraid of
for?
this.
he's,
Oh
like,
God.
he's like, sounds like you got enough people in there as it is.
Oh, okay. No, I can't. I can't. Fucking moron. Like,
Yeah.
it's so good, dude. I love everything. That's the thing that I always try to hammer about the Ghostbusters movie is it's just such a like, man, what a fun movie.
Yeah.
Like when it came to fun, like there are so few movies that are just fun for the sake of being fun anymore.
Mhm.
And like so few that feel that way. Like some feel like they're fun, but they're like the primary goal is to just make money.
Yeah.
And like it just it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same. Like the last movie I saw that I can really remember that I thought was just like fun, like what a fun fucking movie that was Lego Batman.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah.
last movie I felt was just like fun for the sake of being fun. Like
Well,
Ghostbusters.
that was the best love letter you can possibly make to Batman.
Yeah, and like I like that it wasn't afraid to make fun of the goofy shit that has happened in Batman lore because a lot of
Yeah.
goofy shit has happened, and like
Yeah.
I've always felt like Ghostbusters was always really good at laughing at itself and not taking itself too seriously. It's the fans that take like Ghostbusters so seriously, and I forget
Yeah.
that there's like actual sects of like teams of people that call themselves like official Ghostbusters. Like,
Yeah. Which I've met some of them, and you know they're good people. They're genuinely
yeah,
good people and
I
stuff.
imagine.
But yeah, dude, like fandoms are just they're toxic, dude, especially
They're
nowadays, dude.
yeah, they're really bad, man. And like I've given into a lot of like the like some of it. Like I'm still like if you ask me what's better, like Marvel or DC, I'll always tell you fucking DC. Like you're
Yeah.
never gonna hear me say differently. But
Yeah.
like
Don't let people know that they're casting somebody that's not white as one of the characters. You know?
yeah, telling people I'm like, I hope they fucking cast black Batmans and Supermans like all the goddamn time now, just to piss you people off. Like you and I are
Yeah.
reading comics for 2 different reasons. Like really different reasons, bro. Like
Yeah.
how many times does Superman have to beat up Nazis before those assholes get it? Like he's been beating them up since the goddamn radio show. Like
I know.
it's fucking so ridiculous, dude. And like I don't know, the fandom got really bad with Ghostbusters because it became a thing where like you were either a fucking like just chauvinist piece of shit or you were betraying your childhood. And it's like, bro, like Ghostbusters was not the only part of my like at all. Like I had so much shit in my childhood. Like I think
Yeah.
that if Ghostbusters got taken away from me, my childhood wouldn't be as cool, but I think it would still be pretty cool, man. Like that leaves me with Batman, Transformers, GI Joes, like all that shit. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because this movie it doesn't feel like, and I don't want to sound like somebody that that doesn't know any better, but it doesn't feel like it's got a quote unquote agenda to it. Like it
Right,
doesn't feel
right,
like the start of a franchise. It doesn't feel like it's trying to sell you toys or breakfast cereal or
right.
anything like that.
It
It
just
just
seemed like a
feels like a
fun
genuine
original
movie.
idea. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
fun original idea that like we hadn't done before, and it's a blast. Like the formula does work if you do it right. Like because you can do it really wrong. Because sometimes you get R.I.P.D. and you get Wild Wild West, but sometimes you get Men in Black, and like
Yeah.
I maintain that Men in Black is as good as Ghostbusters, in my opinion. Like, I think in another few years, like, our kids will remember Men in Black the way we remember Ghostbusters. It'll be
Yeah,
one of
yeah, that's very true. And the first Men in Black movie was it very much took from the formula of Ghostbusters, and it did its own thing with it. To
Absolutely.
its credit, it did its own thing with it.
Yeah.
Barry Sonnenfeld did such a great job with that movie, and everything was perfect, right? And then they made the sequel,
Yeah.
and it kind of ruined it a little bit, you know?
Well, that's sort of the same thing with Ghostbusters, but
Yeah.
like it's one of those things for me, like where like and I'll tell people too, like you want to know how to make a perfect movie, watch Men in Black. That's a
Mhm.
perfect film. Like Men in Black is perfect from beginning to end. Like it's edited so well. It's directed incredibly well. Like some things don't hold up, but it was the era of CGI.
Yeah.
Like it was the era where we started using CGI as a crutch more than anything else. But it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
Like Ghostbusters is one of those perfect movies. Like from beginning to end, it's fun. Like and like we were getting to like right now, like the final act of the film is where it kind of does fall apart on you a little bit.
Yeah. And
Like
and I'll admit this every day that the ending is it's not perfect. And I think that maybe if they would have had a little more time or maybe a little more manpower on the writing side, um, I just think that they wrote themselves like
a corner. You
into
wrote
a
yourself into a
wall. They
corner.
wrote themselves
Yeah.
into a corner a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's everything else in the movie just makes up for the lackluster ending.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think the ending is so lackluster. I think they just didn't know what they wanted. Like
Yeah,
Gozer would have been an interesting enough like ending. Like it would have been
yeah.
an interesting enough bad guy to fight at the end if they knew what they wanted to do with it. And then like they just zap
I
her.
think I think they knew what they wanted to do with it. I just think that they weren't able to do what they wanted to do with it because you know what they originally had in mind. Yeah, they originally like Gozer was originally supposed to be a an androgynous man in a suit played by Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, you know, and it was supposed to be this big like multi-dimensional fight, you know.
I don't know. He froze. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You there?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear
Hold
me?
on.
Hello, hello. Hi, Lord, 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 Lord. Okay, hold on.